ओशो गीता दर्शन डिस्कोर्स 6 अध्याय 3 Sutra 22-24. O Arjuna, even though there are no actions for me to perform in the three worlds, I still continue to perform actions. But my actions are not aimed at attaining any benefit, even the slightest. If I would refrain from performing actions, O Arjuna, all men would imitate my behavior. If I would refrain from performing actions, all these people would become corrupted and I would be responsible for the birth of individuals of mixed caste. That is to say, I would destroy the entire population and, in other words, I would be responsible for their ruin. Moses encountered God on Mount Sinai, received the Ten Commandments, and descended from the mountain. When Moses climbed the mountain, he was simply Moses. When he descended from the mountains, he became God. Whatever he said when he descended from the mountain has become the foundation of the Jewish history. After descending from the mountain, Moses said to his people, "Now I will give you the law." Moses had become one with the divine. Anyone who comes to know the divine becomes one with the divine. Moses should have said, "I received from God these 10 commandments which I am giving you on his behalf." Instead, Moses said, "I am giving you the law." Once a disciple asked a Hasid mystic, "It is right for Moses to say that. Does he have the right to make such a statement? Maybe he is egocentric." At that point, the Hasid mystic told a short story which I would like to tell you. A well known merchant wanted to go on the pilgrimage, but the journey was so long that it would have taken him many years to reach the destination. He did not have anybody to take care of the business. He hired someone to work in the shop, passed on to him all the responsibilities, and sat down in a room at the back of the shop. One day, 1 year passed, but the merchant thought that the time was not yet ripe for him to depart for his journey. He spent his time sitting in the room at the back of the shop, listening to his employee talking to the customers. The employee was saying, "The owner would not sell you this item at this price." During the second year, while he remained at the back of the shop, listening to the conversation, the merchant became hopeful as he heard his employee say, "We will not sell you this item at this price." But the merchant was still not convinced that it was the right time to depart for his journey. One day, 3 years later, he heard the employee say, "I will not give you this item at this price," and thought that it was the right time to leave. The merchant said to his wife, "Don't worry, now I can go on my pilgrimage. Now there is no difference between myself and the employee. We are not separate anymore. Now he speaks to the customer the same way as I do. It is almost as if I am talking, so you don't need to worry anymore." This story of Hasid Mystic relates to this sutra which I am about to explain to you. Krishna says, there is nothing else left for me to achieve because I have attained everything. There is nothing left for me to do because I have done everything. I have already achieved all that I wanted to achieve. I have already done all that I wanted to do. Now I don't need to perform any more actions. These are the words of the divine. They are not Krishna's words. Only an individual who has become one with the divine can speak with such authority. Rama cannot speak with such authority, therefore, we cannot say that Rama is a complete avatar. Only Krishna can speak with such confidence. Only an individual who has transcended his ego can speak with such confidence. An egocentric person is always fearful. In fact, we hide our fear behind our ego. A person who is full of his ego always wavers. Krishna says, even though there is nothing left for me to do, I continue to perform actions. Even though there is nothing left for me to achieve, I keep performing actions. Why does he say that? Krishna says, if I would stop performing actions, if I would stop acting altogether, because there is nothing left for me to do or to achieve, people would follow my example and they would become completely inactive. So they would stop acting altogether, even though there is so much left for them to attain. So they would stop performing actions, even though there is so much left for them to do. So we have to look at this issue more closely. In fact, there is much left to do for those who have not yet attained the divine. In fact, everything is yet to be attained for those who have not yet experienced the divine. Whatever they have attained up to now is meaningless. Those who have not yet liberated, those who have not yet experienced the freedom of their inner self, there is so much left for them to do. In fact, whether they have been doing up to now has not led them anywhere. But an individual like Krishna, who has attained everything that can be attained, who has done everything that can be done, such an individual has reached the final destination of his journey. If he would become inactive, seeing him, everyone else would follow his example and would become inactive. So, this is all about for today. Next Adhyay we will read tomorrow. Thank you. If you like it, try to subscribe.